overdue for a update here. Been almost exactly a month. I had a wrasse, leopard wrasse like this one in QT that I had kept here. It was super skinny, and right after it died, I actually had an opportunity to pick up this one from a local guy who was getting out of the hobby. And I have a strong belief, I guess not an original thought. I've heard Mile High Reefing talk about it, that used fish are good fish because they're hardy, they've already survived QT and stuff. So this guy has another couple of days in QT. He's been here almost 4 weeks. And I say he, it is a she, I should say. She's been eating quite well and getting along, and you know, just it's boring, I guess. You're hanging out by yourself. So she's doing well. She comes up this week, so that's a good thing. What else? That's about it QT wise for me. Let's come over, see what I've got going on. Frag tank wise, I have broken up some of the corals that were here. I had this finger lead that I had upstairs that my wife hated. It was growing pretty big down here, and I actually fragged it, cut it in a couple of different pieces. I also broke up the it's I don't know what it is, Pocillopora maybe. I had a big head of that. I tried to cut off some of the dead branches underneath. Had a big piece that I took upstairs, which I'll show you. I say had, which again I'll show you. So these down here look pretty decent. I may actually swap and bring one of these up and see what happens. And then the big head of the hammer coral here, I need to, I don't know if I should frag it and bring it up or whether I should just bring it up as a whole. I'm thinking frag it because I tend to kill things upstairs. These other hammers over in back have vermeted snails on them still, and I need to run them through another dip, take the Dremel to their base and see if I can get the vermetids off before. I don't want them upstairs. So over at the refugium, yeah, I bought some more macroalgae. We'll see what it does. The hope is I've got better lights. Well, they're not great lights, they're crappy old lights from upstairs, but got them hung up so I can kind of pull them up and get them out of the way, which is kind of cool. I love these little things. They're for hanging plants, but you just kind of ratchet them up. It's pretty neat. Yeah, so I got some more macro. There is some ulva down on the bottom, which is kind of fading away, and well, I don't know if this stuff's actually growing or it's growing algae on it. I guess either way, it's probably nutrient export at this point. I've got some funk growing up there at the surface. Again, yeah, we'll harvest that out. I guess that's good. I did add, when I picked up the wrasse that I showed you over in quarantine, I picked up a sand sifting starfish that I popped in here, and it just went it disappeared. I went, wow, that was really cool, as I sat and watched it. So I then sort of, well, a little starfish torture, I pulled it out and filmed it with super slow motion mode, and here I'll show you. Yeah, it's about 10 seconds, which represents about 3 minutes in real time. It was pretty cool. So from down here on the end, the kind of cool thing was how much stuff was moving elsewhere. Interested in seeing how fast the little the Strena starfish were cranking across the rocks. Yeah, kind of neat. Anyway, there's plenty of life in there, but I don't know how much in terms of pods and that kind of stuff. I don't seem to see the pods on a regular basis, here and there. But that's one of the items. My nitrates are clearly high enough to grow algae, so hopefully with the additional lights on here we'll export a little bit more and work from there. Let's go upstairs and take a look at there. Okay, upstairs. Couple of changes in the last few weeks. As I've mentioned, I got my lights, got them on override right now, so they're much brighter than they would typically be. 9:30 at night. You kind of see there's a dark spot in the middle. That's because I really need a third light. Got something sort of temporarily set up. Using some of the bars that I had from before. It'll work for now. It's more light than not having them. But I've done a few other things. I've done some rearranging over here. Brought up a couple of corals from downstairs, which are kind of struggling. I think I need to maybe feed them. This guy's kicking it, doing very well. This one I brought up, and it seems like it's getting very thin on me. Last night, right before bed, I found a emerald crab sort of crawling around on top there, picking at it. So I don't know if the emerald crab is actually eating it or pulling algae off. So we'll see. It should be, it's extending pretty well. It's getting plenty of flow, and it's definitely getting plenty of light up here. GSP is doing well. Move this rock with the mushrooms over to the middle because I think it was kind of bleaching out the mushrooms. I think there was just too much light over here in the bottom, so I don't know. We'll see. That top mushroom seems to be getting a little bit of color back. These yellow guys seem to be doing all that well, and the frog spawn that was looking great downstairs is kind of getting beat up here. Again, I think it's too much flow in this case, not too much light. But other casualties, my Duncan and back is pretty much all but gone at this point. It's got to be some water issues. So I've been negligent on tests. I'll tell you this, the Mahanos are growing like crazy. And that's not good. So I got to get in and start zapping those somehow. Maybe the laser's the easiest thing to get. There's a bunch of them on this old coral that sort of died off. I think I snapped the whole thing off and maybe just try to save some of the parts at the edge that look like they're growing. Maybe the easiest way to get the Mahanos there, but yeah, there's another one there. There's some more up and back on top. This Palladium Monty's totally dead, but kind of adds a lot of character at this point. Coral's doing awesome. Always seems to be doing awesome. And the Kenya tree in the corner seems to be pretty happy about the new lights as well. That's about it. Tank-wise, social wrasse is social. Hanging out with everybody else right out in front. Pretty pleased. Hopefully it'll get along well with the leopard wrasse in the basement as it comes up later this week.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, or subscribe if you'd like to see more in this series.